Hey, it's Gillespie. I'm back with another quarantine coffee question. I think this is number 6, if I remember right. It doesn't really matter. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what we call single origin coffees and blends. All right. Single origin coffees are coffees that come from one origin. That can mean one country, although for us it often means one region, and sometimes even more specifically, one cooperative, and even then, sometimes even more specific, one farm. All right, depends on how large the farm is and how they're able to distribute their coffee. In the case of many small farmers, they can't process their own coffee. They don't have processing equipment. And so then they collaborate with other farmers in a cooperative arrangement on a processing facility. And so then their coffees get blended together. But they're all from the same region, so they're going to, and probably, same harvest, so they're going to be pretty typical to each other as long as they're using the same variety of coffee. As you get larger and larger, as you expand out into, like, say, a region, there's going to be some typical flavor and aroma notes for each region, especially within a season, and it might vary year to year. Once you go out to like the country level, you're going to find many different growing regions within the country being blended together. And that's when the flavors start to actually become less dramatic, less dynamic, even less interesting. Because those growing regions can be very different climate, elevation, one side of a mountain versus another side of a mountain, for example. And so they just won't be quite as interesting. We can actually make a dramatic, interesting coffee by taking coffees that have been blended in a region or a country, but then combining it with a very different coffee from somewhere else in the world. And so that's what our blends are. Our blends are taking maybe a little bit more generic coffee, kind of a typical profile for a country or region, and then blending it with another coffee from a very different place, and then combining those two to create something interesting. So as you go to try to choose a coffee to purchase at Coffee by Gillespie, you'll note those two sections, the blend section and the single origin section. If you're new to our coffees, maybe try a blend. A blend is going to be available year-round. It's going to be relatively consistent throughout the year. Obviously, the source green coffee does vary a little bit throughout the year, but overall balance stays about the same through most of the year. But if you're really interested to see what coffee can be, then you want to try the single origins, especially the Roaster's Choice subscription, where you get 2 or more single origin coffees every month, or multiple times, or even every week if you like, multiple times a month, whatever you like. And then you can really taste the range of flavors and aromas and see what coffee is actually capable of. And that's a great way to do that. All right, so use the single origins and maybe choose the Roaster's Choice subscription, and then, have fun.